On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, the Bitcoin network is now performing so poorly that certain services in the community are recommending that their users not even use the network for a while. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin Cash network is going to hard fork tonight, and Bitcoin Gold officially launched its network last night. So all of that and a market roundup on today's episode of the Cryptoverse, so stay right there. Hi there guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I'm your host, Chris Coney. So Bitcoin network fees then. The Exodus wallet, according to Reddit, these peoples on Reddit are saying the Exodus wallet was displaying this message warning users not to use the Bitcoin network due to high fees and slow confirmations. So here is a screenshot from the Exodus wallet posted by someone on Reddit. It's been upvoted 244 times. It basically says transaction fees are the highest they've ever been in the history of Bitcoin, and these fees are paid to the Bitcoin network, not us. Don't kill us, right? We're not taking the fees, which obviously users of the Exodus wallet might think. They're saying we're currently seeing Bitcoin fees range from $25 up to $100. Many times this essentially makes the Bitcoin network worthless. It says, for clarity, it doesn't impact Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, or other Exodus assets. Dash. So our best advice, they say, is if you do not have to use Bitcoin today, just wait for the storm to calm down, and then it'll be all fine once again. Yikes. So further to that, it's not just the Exodus wallet. Someone else on Reddit posted this, which is a screenshot apparently from the Gemini exchange, the New York-based exchange that's owned by the Winklevoss twins. So it says here, Gemini shuts down BTC transfers due to insane transaction backlog, thanks Core. And there is said screenshot, BTC deposits are currently disabled. It says, please check the activity feed panel for updates. And it says they're unavailable due to an extremely long delay in the mining backlog on the Bitcoin network. And your full BTC balance is still being stored in Gemini's systems offline, so it's still safe. Can you believe this? Now, what's ironic about this, or what doesn't make sense about this, is that there are all these complaints about the Bitcoin transaction backlog, yet, if we go to SegWit Party, we can see that still, the adoption of SegWit still lingers below 15%. Now, that's not to say that the people complaining are the same people that aren't using SegWit, but really I would think the people who are really annoyed by the Bitcoin network capacity limits would be much more likely to just switch over to Bitcoin Cash, for example, right? In fact, on the subject of Bitcoin Cash, if we head over to CoinDance right now, you see this block number 504017. This was a full block, full to the brim, a full 8 megabyte block right there. It's 7.999 megabytes. So that was a serious block. And then if we refer to, if we refer to fork.lol, one of my new favorites, we look at the number of transactions on each of the networks, which is this tab right here, Transactions TX. There's this huge spike in the number of Bitcoin Cash network transactions, and then a gradual decline in the number of Bitcoin network transactions. That's just in the last day or so, right? Maybe not a coincidence, right? Now, before you go projecting your own perceptions onto me, which happens all the frigging time, I'm pointing out objective facts here. That's why I like to show you the CoinDances and the fork.lols, because that's hard data coming from the blockchain, right? I'm just reading them out. So this is how the free market is supposed to work, right? Craig Wright, for example, said in no uncertain terms during one of his recent presentations that what he and his team were aiming to do or intended to do. He said, right, we're gonna fork Bitcoin Cash and then compete to be the superior product, right? And then let the users decide which network they voluntarily want to use. So Craig Wright is a pure free market capitalist. He's like meritocracy, may the best product win, right? The free market, if allowed to operate as, naturally, it rewards good service and punishes bad service. What's complicated about all this, though, is that Bitcoin provides lots of different services. So the value of Bitcoin It depends on who you are and what you want to use it for, quite frankly. The main service it provides right now, main Bitcoin, is as the best store of value in the world. That's, to my mind, the main use case for it right now, and has a lot to do with where the price is at. So from that perspective, Bitcoin Cash just can't compete as a store of value, not even close. But if the service you want is to take, say, some fiat currency and then send it across the world quickly and cheaply, i.e. use Bitcoin as an actual payment network, then right now, Bitcoin simply can't compete with Bitcoin Cash. What prevents Bitcoin Cash from reaching its full potential as a payment network is just the lack of adoption, right? The whole ecosystem is set up to support Bitcoin by default, and only a small portion of it also supports Bitcoin Cash. To be fair, that point about a coin reaching its full potential due to a lack of adoption, I have to be fair and say that that's not exclusive to Bitcoin Cash. It applies to almost all altcoins that aren't Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two most widely supported coins, and because of that, they are very, very hard to unseat from the throne. It seems that people will put up with these high transaction fees and this big backlog because when this happens, it doesn't really last very long, and people tend to have short memories, right? Once it goes back to normal, it's like, it's okay again. However, every time this happens, I think a few people leak out and then they decide to try something else like the Bitcoin Cash network or Litecoin or Dash. And then once they do that, they get a positive experience and they just choose not to come back. Because as long as those new tools continue to work, they have no incentive to come back to Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as if there aren't consequences to failing to keep up with demand. Of course there are. That's what I mean by the free market punishing or rewarding. And we saw yesterday how the market reacted to Dash increasing its network capacity to 2 megabyte block sizes and at the same time massively reducing fees. If we refer to the Dash price chart on Coinigy, for example, you'll see this great big green bar. That was yesterday, that was Sunday, and then today the price has corrected somewhat. But it mooned from less than $340 to a high of $493, and right now is sitting at $427. Now, some people say that the 2 megabyte block thing was Dash doing a PR stunt. The announcement may have been strategic, but I'd already covered the new Dash development roadmap like months ago, which included this planned block size increase. I think what they did in this regard was okay. Now, there's a difference between actively spreading propaganda and censoring opinions that you don't like, and then being strategic about when you announce certain news. I mean, even I have to select topics that are topical in order to get people's attention, right? And it's self-evident that covering stories that don't get people's attention is suicide. What I really want to do right now myself, to be honest, is even out the number of coins that I have in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. By that I mean, I want to buy a number of Bitcoin Cash coins so I have the same number as I have Bitcoins. So I've got a hedge against the possibility that large numbers of people do migrate over to Bitcoin Cash. So say if I've got 10 Bitcoins, I want to make sure I've got 10 Bitcoin Cashes. Never mind the value, I just want to make sure I've got an even amount of coins in case this flippening does happen. That's the thing about investing, if you like, is diversifying and hedging risk means that it doesn't matter which way it goes, you'll be okay. That's a much better long-term strategy than betting on Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash. Don't set yourself up so you have to pick a winner. Just hedge so you win no matter what. Now remember, around 7 p.m. tonight, which is Monday, Bitcoin Cash is installing its latest network upgrade to fix this mining difficulty problem, the emergency adjustment thing. And if that goes well, we may see another pump in the price. You may have noticed yesterday there was a big pump in the Bitcoin Cash price. We'll look at that in the market roundup section if you're interested. Now moving on to the second story for today, Bitcoin Gold. The Bitcoin Gold network has launched its mainnet. For real. That happened last night. Here's the announcement on the Bitcoin Gold blog. So I mentioned this on the weekly live stream that I did yesterday, and here is the official announcement. They do actually have a link right there where you can download the Bitcoin Gold client software, which means technically you could download that input your Bitcoin private key and then access your Bitcoin Gold. I am not taking that approach, nor do I recommend it, right? I plan to wait for the announcement sometime later today when Ledger promised to release support, which actually they promised it in their blog. Here's where's the article from Ledger? Ledger, here it is. So it looks very much similar to the Bitcoin Gold one, doesn't it? The blog's laid out very similar, but in any case, this is the Ledger blog, and here they're saying the Bitcoin Gold network is supposed to launch on the 12th of November at 7 p.m. UTC. We plan to offer support on November the 13th at the latest if the launch occurs as planned and integration stages go smoothly. So that's the plan I've been recommending leading up to these forks. I recommend the Ledger Nano S as primary storage for your Bitcoin. That's where I store my major Bitcoin holdings. And it's because Ledger is so hot on releasing new wallet software when we get forks, right? So as soon as they release a new wallet software, we can download it and split our coins safely, securely, and without ever revealing our private key. So in that post, they promised 13th, that's today, they will be supporting Bitcoin Gold. So the launch did go pretty well. I'm not going to go into this right now, but you can see on the Bitcoin Gold website, they were attacked. I think it was some kind of mining attack as soon as the network launched, which was supposedly intended to prevent Bitcoin Gold from launching, but they managed to mitigate that and it launched anyway. So stay tuned for the update from the Ledger wallet, and then I'll do a kind of a screen cap video of me unlocking my Bitcoin Gold. So we have a tutorial just like we did with Bitcoin Cash. You can also visit the Bitcoin Gold homepage and check how much Bitcoin Gold that you have. All you got to do is go to the Bitcoin Gold website here, scroll down here, and then you can check your balance of Bitcoin Gold by entering your Bitcoin address in here. Now, I'll say that again. You enter your public address in this box. In this box, public address, not your private key, right? Do not enter your private key here. Only enter your public address, which is also known as the address you give out when you want to receive Bitcoin, right? That's the one you enter. Now, if you're in the habit of changing your address every time you receive a transaction, fine, maybe that won't work. But if you use a repeatable address, then that's fine. You can check your balance. Even if you do use different addresses every time you receive, don't worry about it. When it comes to splitting your coins, you'll still get all the coins in all the different addresses, if that makes sense, because they're all on the same private key. So in conclusion today then, as Jim Rohn always used to say, we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace, right? That's as simple as you can put economics, he used to say. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace, and the marketplace is the people. The beautiful thing about the marketplace is, especially the free market, is that as long as the vast majority of people have a moral compass, we can collectively reward good behavior and punish bad behavior. And we punish bad behavior by doing what I call hitting them in the purse, right? When you hit a company in the purse, they usually respond to that feedback pretty well. So I would say stop complaining about poor products and services, not just in the world of Bitcoin, but anywhere, and instead hit those companies in the purse. And that includes me. If you don't like my content, stop watching my videos, stop consuming my courses, and hit me right in the purse. And that'll tell me that what I'm doing is garbage, right? But conversely, if you do like my videos and you do like consuming my courses, then you can reward me by, what would you call that? Putting money in the purse, I suppose would be the opposite to that. I was going to say stroking the purse, but then that didn't sound too good. Alrighty then, let's go into the market roundup to close this off for today. Let's go over to OCFX to look at the winners and losers of the day. There we go. Populous is the biggest winner of the day, 44% gain. Dash is up 31%. And we have Hcash, which is also up 29%. Big losers, Bitcoin Cash down 37%. We'll see the chart in just a mo. Ethereum Classic shaved 20%. And Library Credits has also shaved 5%. In terms of chart readings, I'll do Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Dash, Litecoin because it's forming a wedge, and Monero, which is also took off. Got to do this quick because the video is getting a little bit long today. So over to Bitcoin Cash chart. This is where Bitcoin Cash mooned yesterday to 2,800 and has now pulled back to around about 1163. It's just below one of its Fibonacci retracement lines at 1253. And when it mooned, it started off around $600, So that meant it went up 5 or 6 times in 2 or 3 days, but it corrected pretty damn quickly. With Bitcoin, we have a dip. We have a dip right down to the 38% fib level, the trend line, and the 50-day moving average. Those 3 confluence of factors is where it bounced. So it actually corrected right back down to 5,800 odd and is now going back up again, 6,320 as we speak. I entered just a little bit too high on this one. I entered about 6,500. I should have waited until it got down to this convergence point, but this is why you must follow the rules. I didn't double check my rules on this one, so even I made a mistake in that regard. That's all right. I'll just hold until it goes back up again, but that's not wise. Don't do that. Always follow your trading rules. But, you know, we all slip up sometimes. And in terms of Dash then, Dash did do a nice little moon yesterday, as we just saw earlier on. It mooned right up from 344 odd. It hit a high of nearly $500 and now is corrected to about 430. That's unprecedented. There's no historical technical analysis that I can rely on there. The only other thing I could say is that the previous all-time high was $413, so maybe that will be the support line. In terms of Litecoin against US dollar, it's grinding a little trend here, gradually. However, the previous high we set is lower than the high prior to that, which is why I've drawn this sort of wedge shape going on, which is going to pinch it. But for the time being, the lows are getting higher, so that's positive news for Litecoin. And then on the Monero front, it broke up against $100. It was stuck below that, as you can see here with these previous 2 peaks, and then it went absolutely mental right up to about $130, and it's now sort of stabilized around 120, 125. So that could be the new resting point for Monero. I've been meaning to get some Monero, but I'm really wanting Ledger to support Monero, so I've got a good place to store it rather than in the core wallet. Alrighty, last bit. Welcome new patrons for this week because it's Monday. 8 new patrons this week. Wow, I must have done something right. They, instead of hitting me in the purse, they've rewarded the purse. So we have Thomas Kanuich, I think his name is. Marshall Wright, who was so excited he signed up twice. One was by accident. We have George Bakardiev, Titus Pulo, Simon Donnelly, Jonathan Miller, someone called Snowcat20, and Justin Schletcher, I think that name is. So thank you all very much, guys, for supporting the Cryptoverse, boosting cryptocurrency adoption, and helping me in my mission to lead people to freedom. So make sure you lot come and join me in the private patrons chat group. You'll find that in the student dashboard. Under courses, there's a section called Patrons Bonuses. If you drop that down, click the link and it will bring you into the private Telegram chat group. Alrighty then, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. If you liked this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new around here, get subscribed. And if you would like access to my very best material, such as my step-by-step online courses that will teach you things like how to make and save money with Bitcoin, you can check out cryptoversity.com. Alright guys, that is all for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.